Hello, everyone. It's Stephanie Clegg, licensed associate counselor, here for another mental health moment. Well, today I want to talk about journaling. I have like a lot of things to talk to you guys about, so I'm about to bombard you with videos over the next week or so. But for today, we're going to talk about journaling. How many people remember growing up having a diary? I remember getting a diary with a little lock and key, and you unlock it, you keep your key somewhere for safekeeping, write your most um, intimate thoughts, and about boys that you liked, and how your parents got on your nerves, like all of those kinds of things. And how many of you remember like an older sibling finding it, breaking it open because it was very easy to break open, and they either read your thoughts, told your parents what you wrote in the journal, all of that kind of thing, right? I loved having a journal as a teenager. Well, journaling is actually a tool utilized in counseling, right? In therapy. So, journaling, and I have this worksheet that if you inbox me, I'll send it to you. It's called Journaling for Beginners. And it basically talks about what journaling is, the benefits of journaling, and then it gives you some prompts. So, for example, it says journaling is a creative and reflective practice where you can write, draw, or express yourself freely. It's a powerful tool to explore your emotions, thoughts, and experiences, promoting mental well being and self discovery. So that's basically what journaling is, right? Now, back in the day, one of the things that I can never be consistent with journaling because I didn't like regurgitating what happened when I got home. I just didn't like that. Like whatever happened during the day, come home, dredge it all up again. And sometimes we're embellishing because now we've had time to think. So we're writing things that are not actual factual, right? Actually factual. So I just didn't like doing this. I would skip days, skip weeks, skip months. Then I would go back to journaling. So I'm going to give you something that might help with that if that's your story too. Some people don't like journaling. Um, they're worried about grammar. They're worried about number one, someone finding it and reading it. Right? There's electronic journals now. There's apps for that. You can do it on your phone and have your pass protect your phone. And I'm just going to share with you. Let me just share with you first the benefits of journaling. Journaling relieves stress and anxiety. So it's a great stress reliever. It enhances self awareness and mindfulness, right? Have you ever written anything and then when you go back and read it, then you, for lack of a better way of saying it, you see yourself? It's like self awareness. Sometimes I like to see my growth in journaling. When I go back months later, years later, and read what was going on at the time, I'm very aware, like self aware of what I was thinking, how I was processing, how I was problem solving, all of that good stuff, and just mindfulness, being aware of what we're doing, being aware of ourselves, right? Um, Another benefit of journaling, it fosters problem solving skills. Again, I like to go back and read in my journal, not just my problems and my issues, but how they were resolved in the end, right? Because I can go back and look and go, yeah, that was great. That was a great way that I processed that. That was a great resource or a great strategy that I used. Um, Journaling also encourages self compassion and self growth. We talked about the self growth, right? Like down the road, I like to read over um, different ways that I've grown, right? Um, am I handling my emotions better now as opposed to last year when I was in distress? Am I experiencing less anxiety now than I did in the past, right? And those tools and strategies that I utilize to get here. Self compassion. Sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. We're our own worst critic. So sometimes just reading or just writing it out in a journal and then going back and reading it later, we'll have more empathy, more self compassion towards ourselves. In terms of what things that we're challenges that we're facing now. And then finally, another benefit of journaling, it boosts overall emotional health. You know why? I tell my clients when you write something down on paper, it gets it out of here, out of your head, and on the paper. I had a client, it was a male client, He was a pretty high-ranking official in a particular denomination and very leery about counseling. And we talked about journaling because he had so many responsibilities. He was overseer of a lot of churches. Um, and just feeling overwhelmed. He was a husband, he had small children, and I was asking him if he kept lists. And I was asking him about journaling. And he was like, no, my wife does that. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in journaling. Well, by the time we finished a couple of sessions later, he was about to take a sabbatical. So he had actually started journaling, started writing some things down that he needed to get done and things that concerned him. And by the time I spoke to him, when we last spoke, he thanked me. And he said that was so on point to get it out of here and get it on paper. Because I asked him, I said, well, how do you keep track of all of these responsibilities? You have your kid, you have responsibilities with your children's activities, you're a husband, you preside over all of these churches and you have different responsibilities to them. How do you keep, he said, I just keep it in my head. And he said, but I'm starting to feel jumbled. I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. And I said, the reason why you're feeling overwhelmed and extremely stressed is because everything is up here. So it's running around like a rat on a wheel. It's just running through your head all day, all night. You're trying to keep track of things and you're trying to organize yourself mentally. I said, but if you take it from here and put it on paper, right? If paper is a visual, a journal is a visual, right? We can see what our problems are. We can see possible solutions. We can see, we can write about strategies that we've tried, and we can see some strategies that have worked and some strategies that have not worked, right? So journaling is just boost our overall emotional health. So here's something, and like I said, you can drop me a message in the post, or you can inbox me and ask for a copy of this sheet. One of the things that I love about this worksheet, journaling today is very different from journaling when we were a kid. You got a blank book, you opened it, and you just wrote what happened, right? So here, I'm going to just give you a couple of examples of the new way of journaling, right? So, um, take a few minutes to free write without any structure. Let your thoughts flow naturally. So you're just writing, not about anything in particular, but you're just writing. Make a list of activities that bring you joy and prioritize doing one this week. So that's something that you can journal about. Write about a cherished memory that brings you joy whenever you think about it. And then one more. Create a bucket list of exciting things you want to do or experience in the future. That's the new way of journaling. That's it right there. So we're no longer just regurgitating what happened to us and how we hated and it was awful and, how could they and, those kind of things. But just writing the freedom of expression, focusing on things that give us joy, bucket list, things that excite us is the new and improved way of journaling. So now I'm going to throw in one other resource. So if you like that list, just inbox me, put it in the post, and I'll give me your email address, and I'll send it to you. If you have my email address or phone number, you can reach out that way as well. So my newfound gift for journaling is called Wreck This Journal. OMG. This book right here, and it's different versions. If you go on Amazon and put in Wreck This Journal, you may not see this cover. You may see this one in maybe five different covers, five different authors. This one is Carrie Smith. And when I tell you, this is not your normal journal book. So it starts off with the insert page that says something like, this is a secret message just for you. This is a good temporary hiding place. Go find something to stash here. So you put something there. Then there's the two circles right here. It says, cut two holes here for peeking at people. You are now a spy. So what this book does, it takes your creativity to another level. And some of these pages of the book, it'll tell you to tear the page out, crumple up the page, and then put it back. One page says, cover this page in tape and create some type of pattern. Another one says, figure out a way to freeze this page. So you either tear it out, put it in your freezer, and then put it back in the book. There's things like It says space for negative comments. What is your inner critic saying? And then you would write on that page. So I love this book, Collect Your Pocket Lint. Glue it here. It's mindless activities that we're doing. What we're doing. We're doing something, right? We're doing something. Bring this book in the shower with you. So one page it says spill a drink right here. And then close the book and make a pattern or a print. So this is kind of like the new and improved way of um of journaling. This says tear out and crumple. So someone may say, well, what is this book doing? Like, why are you doing all of this? The author gives a very lively introduction as to why she does the journal book this way. Um, and she said it's very important for people who are going through extremely challenging experiences to utilize this journal, right? She says we do a lot of what did she say? We do a lot of writing and thinking about what we're going to write, but we really want to get to the doing part. We just want to do something, right? Sometimes we're angry. Yeah, we want to tear something up. So, and she's encouraging people, don't go in order of the book. Flip open to whatever page floats your boat and do that. There's little silly things like on the first insert on the first page. It says this book belongs to. It says write your name in white. Then it says write your name in color. Write your name illegibly. Write your name in tiny letters. Write your name backwards. Write your name very faintly. Right? These are just activities to to um to engage you and give you something to do. It's been very helpful in work with teenagers. I know some adults that have this same journal. And I always say it's a part of being mindfulness. It's a mindfulness activity, right? So when we're having a stressed day, when we're overwhelmed, sometimes we don't want to talk about the issues right then. We don't want to regurgitate everything that's happened. We don't want to tell people what's wrong, right? So if you have something like this record journal, and you absolutely can write in this journal. If that's your method and you want to write something and write whatever you're feeling, as opposed to doing some of the activities in the book, there's blank pages, write to your heart's desire. But the bottom line is journaling. Journaling is very um, therapeutic. And again, it gets whatever's in here, our hearts, and whatever's in our minds, it gets it out on paper. It's a stress reliever, anxiety reliever, and I would encourage you to start journaling. And again, there's apps for journaling for privacy's sake. And if you know anyone that can benefit from a journal, order them a journal. This journal on Amazon was like $9.59. And the book actually cost $16. But on Amazon, it was $9.69. I think someone else bought that book from Target. I think Target had a Wreck This Journal, a copy of Wreck This Journal. So again, I say all that to say journaling. Write it all down, get it out of here, get it on paper, and have a great day.